Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. Today is Saturday and we're working in our sketchbook. Painting up some doodles, just having some fun and having a conversation about not getting frustrated while painting with watercolor. I know for some of you this is a new medium and you're trying it out for the first time and you're getting kind of frustrated. I've been getting a lot of emails about this, but these things take time. So let's dive into it. Let's paint and have a discussion. Let's get started. Always to begin, I'll go over my supplies. I have a Moleskine wet media sketchbook. I think this is like a 5x8 or something like that. My paints of water jars are up here. See, it's Saturday morning. My pots of water up here, paper towel, my palette with my paints. I'll go over as I mix them, and I'll have my various brushes over here, and I'll pick them up as I feel like what I think I'm going to paint. I think I'm going to end up probably using the Princeton 8 long round and the Princeton 5 round today. These are the Velvet Touch series. I bought these at Tiktock. I know I've been telling people there was a big sale on Jerry's Autorama this week. Check on that site also. They had a great sale on Holbein gouache and watercolor and all kinds of watercolors actually. So I bought a few and I'm waiting for them to come in the mail today. So we're just going to have a conversation and just do some doodling. I'm just going to grab what colors feel good to me today. I'm going to grab some blues, probably the cool tones, blues and greens. I've got some turquoise here. And I'll get that bright green, but I don't want to keep it that color. I want to tone it down a bit. So that's a medium green. I'll put some burnt umber in there. It comes a little olivey. I'll have to grab that green back again. And grab the cerulean blue. And mix it with the ultramarine. I am running out of ultramarine blue. I'm going to have to find it in my little packet of blues. So I don't know how you guys are feeling. I've been getting a lot of DMs about, as I'm trying to grab my paint to fill in this little area. You can hear all my things smashing about. See, I'm very low on paint, as you can tell. This is a Cotman Winsor Newton. I'll squeeze some of that in here. People frustrated with their painting, and I keep saying it's a process. Nobody's going to get it right off the bat. If you do, maybe you've been painting for a while, or you're just intuitively good at it. It takes time. Don't get frustrated. So my suggestions when you're painting flowers or something like that, someone had sent me a DM of their flowers. So I'm going to pick up my Princeton 8 long round. I'm going to grab some of this turquoise. And I'm just going to make some simple flower shapes or some leaf shapes. I'm just doodling here and having a conversation. I'll do a little line here. So I would suggest if you're crowding the paper, step back. Don't put so much down. A good teacher told me either you go all in or not at all. So you can have less is more sometimes. I'm just making these simple leaves, you see, like that. You're just curving it one side, curving the other side, and filling in the middle. So if you feel like it's not looking the way you want to do, change it up by doing less flowers, maybe 3 to 5, not 20. And just controlling those on the page first. Or taking out the background, leaving it white. There's a simple, I'm going to scroll in more. Here we go. So I'm just starting off with a simple leaf, and I might throw in a blue flower. I think they'll make this a side flower. I'm just going to do like a curve here. This paper isn't great for bleeding, but we're going to play around with it. So you want to have the paint a little more, a little less water, a little more creamier texture. just do these little bumps. Simple flowers here. We're not going to have anything special today. Just like a doodle, what a doodle's supposed to be. Put a little line down there. I'll do another simple bump one here. 3 bumps. That's what I call them. 3 bump flower. So that's what you do. You have to change up your composition. And then you go in and you look at your painting technique. Are you putting in too much water? Not enough water? You know, is it the brush you're using? Is it the paper you're using? So we put the little bump flowers. We'll put another one over here. 3 bump flower. Don't get so frustrated. It takes time. I myself, I've told you, there's a peony tutorial I have. And even then I look at that peony and I'm like, it still stinks. It's not the what I want it to be. But it's good enough for me. But at the moment, it's one of those nemesis flowers that I have a hard time with. So I did those little bumps. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to grab, let's see. Oh, the indigo is really too dark. There's ultramarine. A more navy type flower. So I grabbed a little indigo and ultramarine. So the indigo is pretty dark and the ultramarine's dark. So I'll put some, we'll do like an outline daisy. So you're just making a circle and you're just making these little, with the tip of your paintbrush, simple outline daisies. Almost like you're drawing it, but you're using watercolor. And pretty thick watercolor. And put a few of those. You can overlap it over the other ones too. So this is supposed to be just a sketchy doodle. An experiment. So I'm saying, when do you get frustrated? Believe me, we all get frustrated. Artists who've been painting for 50 years get frustrated. You're not the only ones. Don't be hard on yourself. Everything's a process. It takes time. Grab some of that turquoise again, put another leaf pattern in here. See, I'm just playing. And sometimes when you're playing, you find out, okay, I like the way this color looks. I like the way that leaf looks. I like how I didn't put so much in this thing. I don't like how I put so much in this thing. Experiment. That's what it's supposed to be about. So I'm just throwing random things in here. I could even throw in a random, grab some of this green that I mixed. Just put a blobby circle here, and we'll turn that into something. I know it looks like nothing now, but we will turn it into something. Just blobs. We're going to use our pen. I'm just putting these green circles all around. Remember, it's a doodle. So I just want to have a conversation about people who are frustrated. It's a process. It's always going to be a process. And it just takes time and effort. You'll get there eventually. The more you do, the better you get, right? Put some leaves here. So I know for myself, like I've told you many times, that I was not a fan of the Arches cold press paper forever. I hated it. I kept using the cheap papers. And why I hated it is I couldn't figure out how to utilize it. And then I was watching some tutorials myself, I watched them too, of other artists that use this kind of paper. And they were exclaiming that it's the best paper in the world and it's the only paper you should be using. And I'm like, come on. So I decided to give it a go again. And I tried my paints a different way. And it became like an obsession, actually, that I was using it all the time. I do need to try some other papers, actually. To me, it's like I'm not going to buy those until I can actually go physically in a store. I got to see them. I've been burned so many times with paper. I want to see it up close. So here I'm doing some more of these like leaf, see simple patterns here. But paints, once you know paints, I mean, you can just buy those off the internet. And brushes I need to do in person also, unless I know what it is. I didn't buy any brushes in my little shopping spree at Jerry's Artarama. So I got these weird circles here and these blobby flowers. And I'm going to grab some of those. This is still wet, so I can't paint on top of that. So you're just painting like these blobs, and you can paint some other blobs. And you're going to paint like, see how we did this lined daisy? You can paint that on top of all these blobs. It has a kind of cool effect. Maybe I might grab some of this yellow and some green, get some lime color. A little. Put some smaller ones here. You kind of have to wait till some of these dry. I think I need blue, so I'm going to grab that cerulean blue again. Like I said, this is just a doodle. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We're just having fun. And sometimes that's all you need to do. You just need to have fun. Don't get so serious. Lord knows the world is too serious right now. So let's try a different type of flower. We could do a rose. Could do a daisy, anemone. See, I'm just thinking out loud with you guys. A poppy-ish flower. A simple little ditzy flower. You know what a ditzy flower is? A ditzy flower is a little teeny flower like this. See, I'm doing a little, they call them ditzy flowers. Could be a little ditzy daisy. Now that's too much water, see? Gonna add more paint. Too much water for this particular medium and what I wanted to do. And since I just did one ditzy flower, I'm gonna have to put that somewhere else and somewhere else. Otherwise, it's just this lone flower. Didn't have any friends. It needs some friends. I mean, it's nice to be unique, but sometimes you need some friends. So we're gonna mimic that around. Gonna get some more of this ultramarine paint. And maybe I'll put in a poppy style flower. So it's like that poppy / anemone type flower. Half moon, little circle here, and then I do like a half moon. Speaking of moons, we had a lunar eclipse yesterday. I was shocked that nothing crazy happened. I'm putting a leaf attached to that, right over on top of that. So these guys seem kind of boring, right? The little half-moony, blubby things. We can put a pattern in them. I put patterns in a lot of stuff that I've done in my past. First we're going to do some patterns in the leaves. And then we'll put in a pattern here. So you just did simple lines. And you can just put little lines off of that. You can put little dots up top here. Make it fun and interesting. And then this one would be different. This one you could just do, let's see, another little blobby thing here in the middle. Little lines coming out with little blobs on then those, even in the middle. Well, let's throw in some more lines. Little blobby things. See? Pattern. A little different. And the third one, let's think. Let's just do lines right down them. And that's totally different too. It's just having fun. You see that? So I'm going to get back to our indigo with ultramarine, this dark one. These guys have dried, so we can make that same daisy and just put it on top of the green square. And you have this fun doodle flower. Now we're just doing this in the sketchbook, but you could do this on a nice piece of paper, bigger, like I said, maybe less, and you have like a nice print and a pattern that you could hang up and play around with. And it's nice to see they put the flower off center from the circle. You don't want to keep it right in there. You could put it in the center of the circle if you wanted to, but I think it's more interesting when things are not symmetrical. I like it half on, half off. And you don't have to do a daisy if you don't want to. You could do a different type of flower. But I just thought it'd be easy to do that. Just making this simple. Don't get bogged down that the daisy isn't perfect. It's not supposed to be. We could do even a much more closer petal daisy here. See, really close petals. You can write in words. You could fill in the circles of the daisy. You know, you can make another little one down here. We're just having fun with the sketchbook. It's Saturday, it's been a long week, and you just want to relax, do like a meditative kind of doodle. It's not supposed to be something that serious. Bring up our brush and grab some turquoise again. I always like to tone it down a bit with the either black or brown color. Okay, like a little. Why not try a turquoise? Excuse me. Rose. So how I've done the roses, the little lines. I just go like that around it. Yeah. Who's to say turquoise rose can't exist? Excuse me for my groggy voice. It is Saturday. Put another one up here. And then we can take some of this green. I'll add a little more burnt umber to it. And let's make some green. See, it's darker than this green here, so we can make some greenery going in here. And I see that again, it's watery, so it's not working well with the paper that I have, so I have to make sure that's thicker. Less water on that. Grab that, do some more greenery. I'm almost getting done with our doodle. Just keep adding some greenery out here. Throw in some down here. Just making simple brush strokes to make the greenery. Put in some leaves here. Simple leaves. See, this is no particular rhyme or reason. Putting some stems in here. So I like this navy color, getting it less wet again. I'm going to add some more indigo, ultramarine. You can just throw in some dots. This is a doodle, remember? Maybe a few more than that. We're supposed to have fun. Not supposed to be so serious. You you know, if you didn't like I have this clip here to hold down the other side. I don't know if I really need it. I'll just take that off. And then I'll add a bunch of dots up here. See, we got a little pattern going here. Just a doodle. You can add some of this darker blue on the bottom of your flower here. And then again in here, you could add even darker blue in here for your center. Add the little spikes. Play around with it. Like I said, it's just supposed to be a doodle, nothing serious. Grab a turquoise, make some simple little flowers just by using the lines like in your brush strokes. I pretty much filled up this page, you know, which is a great thing. So I filled up the page. It doesn't frustrate me because I like the white behind it. You could have put a color around it. Maybe the turquoise rose needs a little depth. So add in some darker tones. But this is a constant thing with all artists. You just take your time. Don't get frustrated. Know that it's a process. It's not going to be perfect right out of the gate. You know, I don't even know if now that I look at it, I think I liked it before I added the dots. You know, so I have my own issues with things too. But hey, what are you going to do? You could take your micron pen and go in and put some pen doodles. You know, you can fill it all up. Go crazy. Make it even more crazy. Also, what the teacher said, less is more or not. I had this one teacher, because I was doing these patterned children's book illustrations. And he says, like you said, all or nothing. Like, if you're going to put the patterns in, go crazy. You got to put as many patterns as possible, or less amount of patterns. So I think I've gotten myself into a super pattern here. Like I said, it's just a doodle. You know, just don't worry about if it's right or wrong. There's no right or wrong with the doodle. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was just a Saturday morning sketch, doodle, just a little conversation about not getting frustrated. Everything's going to take time. Everything's a process. I actually never ended up using this brush, did I? The number 5 round. Might want to go put some color in here. Why not? You know, it's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it's just going to take time. I've worked on a peony forever, and I'm still not happy with it. So we all have our things, you know. Some artists who paint really tight can't paint loose, and it frustrates them, and vice versa. I decided to put turquoise in the center. Yeah, I changed that daisy. Made it different. So don't get frustrated. Just take your time. Be patient with yourself. We're all on our journey here, learning and growing every day. See that better? What? Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel, and coming by and looking at my lessons. I hope I'm giving you some feedback that's worthwhile and useful to you. And if you have any questions, again, please leave them in the comment section. I try and get back to them. You know, I'm busy, but I always try and make time for my supporters. So I hope you enjoy this again. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.